fundamental changes are happening. But still, the market dropped. The market dropped 5%. People look at these red numbers and they're scared. They don't go to the green numbers, but unless you are not in that asset, you don't have to even worry about that. I agree. But those who make money in any markets make money using certain tips, using certain simple strategy. So when the fundamental is changing and you see huge economic crisis happening, you really need to have an edge on this. So say this is from Monish Babrai. He's one of the biggest investors, say the Buffett of India, as we call him, right? I'll actually give you 5 seconds, 10 seconds of his words and take it from there. That's one of the best advantage which you can have over anyone in the market.
I think the biggest edge would be attitude. Charlie Munger likes to say that you don't make money when you buy stocks, and you don't make money when you sell stocks. You make money by waiting. And so the single biggest advantage a value investor has is not IQ. It's patience and waiting for the right pitch, and waiting for many years for the right pitch.
So what's that saying, Pascal, that you like about just sitting in the room?
All man's misery stem from his inability to sit in a room alone and do nothing. And all I'd like to do to adapt Pascal is all investment managers' miseries stem from their inability to sit alone in a room and do nothing.
Yes, it really feels hard saying, you just buy and hold until it reaches the right pitch. Now, what is the right asset to buy? What is the time frame you are going to wait? No one knows all of this, but believe me, you are going to listen to another stuff which is happening right now. And these people have been slowing down on central bank digital currencies against digital assets. Now listen to what they are saying right now. This changes the attitude from United States.
The partnership will support our analysis of digital currencies, including central bank digital currencies, help to improve our current payment system, with a particular focus on making cross-border payments faster and less expensive, and it will provide new tools to aid our supervision of the financial system. The partnership will support our...
So fundamental changes in the payments. Expected things are moving in our way. For cross-border payments, reducing the friction, reducing the cost, everything is there. But yet, you see a ton of FUD going on. Now, you can look at Ether, you can look at XRP, you can look at USD, you can look at whatever you want as an indicators. But believe me, guys, we've talked about all these, right? We are going to have a retest like this. We're going to have possibilities are that we are going to come back, retest this previous low, and move inside this trend. So when people panic, what I would like to suggest is just look at what's happening. Yes, on the RSI on a short time, you are breaking to the downside, but price and the MACD is holding on to that line. So unless you break below that in two of these, it's not bearish. First off, now you can actually go back, look at Ether on a weekly, and you see like, okay, fine, in 200 days, it's kind of in same range. It went above, it got rejected, it went above, it again got rejected, then it bounced back up, it broke above that level. Even now, it's standing above that level, making it as a support, which is bullish case. Now we come to XRP, you see that XRP is in this range from last 110 days. That's again showing you are near the support. That's a positive stuff, but chances are you may have a dip. Now, this is horizontal support resistance zone. When you move on to look at the trend line support, you see this. You're moving higher. That's all great, all good. The positive stuff here is you can actually see the moving averages, the 50-day moving average, which is closer to the price, and the 200-day moving average, which is a little bit far away from the price, still trending to the upside. You weigh around 0.2, then you became to 0.28, 0.35. You're moving higher gradually. Why? Because you look at the strength in the RSI and it shows you like you're still inside that pattern. You haven't broken higher, you haven't broken to the downside, so you're still maintaining that pattern where it's not super bullish, on short-term scenario because you haven't broken higher. But if you look at the trend, you're still to the upside, and that's all great. Now you move on to the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin moves the market. But right now, if you look at the Bitcoin, you see one aspect like this. You have a bottom support level like this, whereas you do have a resistance at the top where you're getting rejected right now. But when you're coming back down, this zone should be acting as a support. Now that's horizontal level. Now when you step back to see this, you also can view this like, okay, the moving average, 50-day moving average on a 3-day chart on Bitcoin is close enough towards 50, and right now we are at 53, right? So as we move, chances are you're going to slow down here and then bounce back up. So the market shows you that it has a possibility of reaching or wicking down to $50,000 and then going back up to the resistance. But when you come on to the long-term charts, you do have to understand like, okay, what does the Bitcoin dominance show you? If you remember, we talked here in detail about what we think about the Bitcoin dominance and what are the possibilities there. And at that moment, it was really hard saying, okay, what we are going to do, because on a horizontal level, you are reaching back that support line. But if you look at the trend-based indicator, you are actually breaking to the downside. So as we discussed previously, if you are breaking to the downside, what are you looking at? Each time when you were going down like this in a crazy reduction of Bitcoin dominance, the altcoins ran super high. You look at these time frames, you can go check yourself and validate whether that happened in the past or not. And if we learn something from the past, from the history, if that has happened 2 times, the 3rd time chances are high there's something same is going to happen, and we really don't want to miss out. So when we think like, okay, the market is going to go down, let me move out, that may not be the right decision. Now it's your portfolio, your decision, but always understand you can learn something from the market, you can learn something from the history, and as you learn, it gives you more advantage. You can go back in history, not just these last couple of years, but you go all the way back to 2017. You see the first dip, consolidation, the second dip, then a recovery, and then a dip again, then a recovery, and another one where the momentum to the downside is reducing. So that was a change in the price, but each time you went down, the market for altcoins rallied enormously. You look at this particular time zone, that was the December blow off the top in all coins when Bitcoin dominance was dropping. So right now you are nowhere near that. You are doing this one, and you still have to do 1 and 2 like this before you go on increasing in Bitcoin dominance. So the chances are high you're going to go down, drop heavy. So now if you go on to the charts, this is what you see. So on a Bitcoin USD chart on a weekly, you can argue that we are at the support. You can argue that the MACD is near an area where you may cross to the downside, right? But what we have seen in the past in most of these assets are that they don't directly go and pass. If you look at the daily chart of Bitcoin and you come back down here, you see, like we talked about this too, right? You tried first, you failed. You're trying the second time, now it seems we're getting a failure. So the 3rd time is most likely to go up. You come back here and look at the history. Last time when you're trying to go up, once you failed, twice you failed, 3rd time you went above. So that makes sense. You can go into XRP, you can go into any other stuff and see the same stuff. You will get that idea. You look at the opposite. Tried once, failed twice, kind of passed, but it was a fake out. You came back up, and the 3rd time you again faked out before you bounced. So in a bullish market, don't ever fall for bear traps. If you are so scared of the market fluctuation, the volatility, believe me, you shouldn't be in crypto, because crypto is volatile, and that volatility makes you these big amount of profits. When you go to different assets and you see a ton of profits being made in the last 2 years, it's because the market is volatile. If it's not that volatile, you're not making any money. This is your support, long-term support of Bitcoin, and you're staying there. So we in that range, stayed there for some time. We bounced off, we came back up. Right now, this is a range where you are trading, and that also seems like, it's not that 30,000 range anymore. You came towards that 40,000, you made that as a base, then you went above 65, 70, then you came back down. Now, hopefully, you're going to make that 50,000 range as your support. Now, why do I say this? Because whenever you do this, you do have to understand the market is not going to give you what you want in that short-term period, because unless you have that level of patience, which you just listened from Monish Pabrai, who was quoting Charlie Munger, who's kind of the disciple of Buffett and learns a lot from Buffett. That is something we should consider, because these are the guys who have been in different type of industry of investing for a very long time. So if they are successful using their strategies, you should be able to look at those too. Now, let's individually go through this. XRP went up, you hit that level of 1.34, you came back down, you're still in that range. So on a short term, the price, you can see the price is still above the moving average. You can see that the price, even in the XRP, the MACD failed once, twice, and the third time it crossed to the upside. So now you come here, you see like once we failed, second time we are failing. So chances are higher that the next time we are going to bounce. So how do you know that? RSI 1, 2, and in this one, RSI is showing you a lower low, which is not bullish. But this one, if we get a higher low, that changes everything. We are trending to the upside from that moment like this. But you need to break above this 1.34 range before you go any higher. So while looking at the market and you continue staying in the market, you definitely have to understand what altcoin market is about to do, because when you see the Bitcoin dominance slowing down, Bitcoin going down, you get an idea of what the altcoins are going to do. That's kind of the basic stuff we all understand, but it has been a long time since we are holding this with that level of patience. But believe or not, this is what you can see in the market. You are still here, you're still holding on to the support. When people are screaming, they're saying this is going down, or at least this is not going up. I'm not getting those. The simple quote is, I'm not billionaire or millionaire yet. I want to become that now. Maybe it may take another month, maybe it may take another year, who knows. But if you still follow the trend and follow the direction of money, the chances of becoming that is still there. But if you step back, move out, the chances of you making that amount of money is going to zero. So do you want to make that level to zero, or do you still want a possibility of you making that millions? Because there are different trends, there are different possibilities in the charts, which you can see. Even in this one, the pattern is bearish, I agree. But if you're bouncing from here, you're going to reach a huge level of fluctuation there. Now, in a bullish market, when you usually get these bearish patterns, you break to the upside. Now, we have seen that in several assets recently, right? Now, for example, if you go look at different assets which have ran up so far, say Matic or Polygon was one of them which actually ran super high, and we rode it. Now, we didn't catch the exact top of 2.6, 2.7. We took the profits around 2.3. But, believe me, market has opportunities. But how you make your investment decision is really important. You see an asset doing its wave 1 blast off, then you look at how long it has consolidated in that range before it took off for the wave 2 was 600 days. So those who had the patience, 600 days, compounded this and then this one. Even if they didn't get the exact top, say if you measure this, you will get an idea. Say you miss the bottom here, still you miss the top. Great, fine. You still were able to make a 150x out of it. Believe me. Now, if you were someone who went and took the profit somewhere close to what we were saying, around 2.2, 2.3, now you had around 400x. But the difference is you literally had to wait this long. How many of you guys have that level of patience? If you have that level of patience, believe me, you're also going to make this money. You're also going to see money moving into your portfolio because others are moving out and losing money. And as that happens, there is no question, money is moved from the impatient to the most patient guys. So if you have that ability to control the beast inside you as an investor and neglect the short-term fluctuations in the market and focus on the long-term, that would change everything. So if you have a thought process of becoming this, making this much, and your target changes, fine, look at the volume, understand the indicators, and then take a decision. Before you execute anything, make sure you know what you're doing and make sure you are taking the right decision. Now, even though this asset has ran so high, it may still give you 3 to 5x, but the question is, are you in this market from here to get 3 to 5x when that asset has already done enormous amount in this market cycle? Looking at that, like 800,000 x in the cycle, do you really want to go in? So choosing an asset is really easy, right? We can go into one, but choosing the right asset is the hardest part, because you may have a lot of time to wait till that really hits your target, because the market can remain irrational for a long time. Even though you make the right decision, the market may take some time to reach there. So guys, a lot of different assets shows a lot of different perspectives. We've been looking at this. Say for example, this is one which I would like to give you guys this day. Dent on a 4-hour chart. Now this is a 4-hour chart, short term, so the accuracy rate compared to the long-term charts would be low. But what you see here is that we are going to the upside. We have this break to the upside, coming back to the downside, bouncing. So we may go towards this moving average. If we are breaking that, then to the upside. So this is something we regularly do in our Patreon. Say you look at the market and you say like, okay, there is a ton of different assets in this market. Some of them are moving higher, some of them are not. You get confusion. Everyone want to make money. So we were talking about Luna, we were talking about all these assets, but majority of them haven't actually moved. With the market dropped, most of them dropped. I agree, but taking profits at the right time gave you that advantage. We were looking at this, we were discussing that I agree, it took 2 weeks for the Bitcoin dominance to break to the downside, but we were discussing about that. We were discussing about that previously. So if you want these kind of updates for a lot of different assets for your portfolio to improve as an investor, you can look at this stuff and make right decision. You can always look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. And I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.